State Sheriff Oberewori announces complete withdrawal of military from Okwama community in the state. The presidency confirms the return of President Bola Tinubu and his aides to Nigeria after a trip to Europe and the Middle East. Local government chairman in Rivers State back Governor Fubara's impeachment. And let's take headlines from outside Nigeria tonight. South Africa's Electoral Commission rejects bid to remove former President Jacob Zuma from MK party, says it does not interfere with political parties' internal affairs. Tunisia detains prominent activists for migrants' rights. Well, tonight on Politics HQ, you do not exist. Now, those are the words of the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, to the APC members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. You do not exist. Impeach the governor. That's the reply from the APC in Rivers State. Now, the questions are, who will go first? Is it Fubara or the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly from the APC? I'm Kofi Bartel's Politics HQ starts now. You're welcome. Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State on Monday declared that there is no House of Assembly in Rivers State. Fubara said this while addressing a visiting delegation from Bayelsa State led by the former governor of Bayelsa State, Henry Seriaki Dixon. Let's listen to him.
Let me say it here. The young people, those group of men who claim that are assembly members are not assembly members. They are not existing. I want it to be on record. I accepted that peace accord. I accepted that peace accord to give them a floating. That is the truth. There was nothing in that peace accord that is a constitutional issue. It's a political solution to a problem. And I accepted it because these were people that were eating in my house. These were people that have helped pay their children's school fees when I wasn't even a governor. So what is the thing there? Yeah, we might have a division, but I believe that one day we could also come together. You don't know what I'm going through. I'm working with my own enemies. Imagine where your commissioner, your attorney general will go to sabotage you. It's as bad as that. But they will get their reward. Not in this world, though. In this world. So you see, we don't have leaders in Rivers State. Let's not pretend. What is happening in Rivers State even happened in Bayelsa. But people could call and say, don't do this, and they said, let's let it go. It was done here. But nobody listened because the leaders have sold their conscience.
Well, that's the governor saying that the Rivers State House of Assembly members from the APC do not exist. In response to this, the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has ordered its members in the Rivers State House of Assembly, the ones that the governor says do not exist, to commence impeachment proceedings against the governor, Sim Fubara. Well, Chief Tony Okocha, caretaker chairman of the APC in Rivers State, addressed a press conference in Port Harcourt, the capital city, yesterday, Tuesday, where he said that the governor had insulted the sensibility of President Bola Tinubu. Those were his words, who tried to resolve the political crisis in the state. Now, Okocha accused Fubara of refusing to honor that peace agreement brokered between Fubara and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and former governor of Nyesom Wike. I can say Fubara's political mentor, Nyesom Wike, who was brokered, or which was brokered by President Bola Tinubu. And also, Okocha is faulting the recent declaration by the governor of the lawmaker seats as vacant. Now, let's listen to Okocha.
The president cannot be derided by the governor. The president is a member, in fact, he is the leader of our own political party. And it would be foolhardy, to be stupidity on our part to sit down to see somebody way less than Mr. President insult Mr. President under our very nose. It is also an absurd to see the governor begin to espouse impunity, intimidation on the people who are members of our political party, and we stand akimbo doing nothing. We're here to respond vehemently and stoutly to them, and to say to you, please, I want this one to be a topical issue, that as chairman of APC Rivers State, as representative of Mr. President, I'm giving you the background, that we won't sit down here to see the governor insult president. We won't sit here to see the governor declare on his own as if it's a law, it's a court. He has become Daniel that is sitting in judgment to declare assembly member seats vacant. To that extent, in consultation with my party, we have directed and we are directing, I want to let you hear, that we are directing the assembly members, APC members who are in the assembly, to immediately commence the impeachment of Governor Siminalayi Fubara.
All right, so are the APC lawmakers in Rivers State, are they legitimate? Should Governor Siminalayi Fubara be impeached? Joining us tonight for a conversation on this, we have two guests. I'll start by introducing Ikenga Chibike, who's a spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, and Sobeyeye Eli, a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, former local government chairman right there in Rivers State. Gentlemen, good evening to you, and thank you so very kindly for your time tonight.
Good evening, Kofi. Good to have me.
All right, thank you very much. Do you agree that I want to start with you, Sobeyeye Eli. Do you agree that the Martin Amehule led Rivers State House of Assembly, at least the APC members there, do not exist, as the governor said?
Kofi, let me begin by saying saying that you don't apply political solutions to constitutional issues. The president from our Benicio had a good intention, but see, like each time you put the cart before the horse, this is what you get. People want to drag the president into this issue when the president has no business here. For political reasons, people are trying to drag the president into this issue as a cannon fodder, as their own strength. The Constitution is the ground norm of our country. This Constitution, from where the president derives his powers, the governor derives his powers, is the Constitution they swore to defend and to protect. This Constitution makes it clear, Section 109, Section 1, Paragraph G, what happens to a House of Assembly member who defects to another political party where there's no division in his party, there's no crisis, where his party does not go into any merger with another party. It's so clear. And this is not spoken on it. It is binding and final forever. In this case, I don't have to reiterate this for people who understand. The Supreme Court has ruled in the case of Ifeda Abegunde against Ondo State Assembly. That same ruling had been re-echoed in the case of Boyhouse Assembly members who defected from the PDP to APC, following Governor David Mahi. The same thing was re-echoed in the Cross River Assembly when others followed former Governor, what's his name now? Benedict
Ayade.
Cross State. Ayade, yes. So this is our settled issues. As I speak to you, the courts will speak, and the courts cannot speak on that language that will go against what the Supreme Court has said. So if the governor says they don't exist, governor is for want of the right words, you cannot say the governor is acting like a judiciary, no. The facts are known to law elsewhere in other jurisdictions. If a matter is before a court, the court will be guided by the principle of stare decisis. Let the decision stand. A lower court cannot go and sit in judgment on appeal against the decision of the Supreme Court. It cannot happen. The court will just go ahead and stick with the decision that is standing. This constitution has not been interpreted otherwise. The Supreme Court, in fact, in that case, went ahead to describe the nature of division that can be taken as a division in a political party. There must be 2 parallel executive committee members at national level. There must be 2 different schools, 2 different secretaries, and all that, right down the wire. So if you have a problem in a state chapter, you cannot rely on that. And moreover, Kofi, in the case of Rivers State, the PDP that sponsored these guys for elections fielded other candidates. 3 senators from Rivers State, all are PDP. 136 in the House of Representatives. APC won 1. The authentic APC won 1. I was the word of authentic advisedly.
Well,
won through Dr. Ali. The second one was won by Labour Party. The PDP won 11 seats. Now, 11 seats in National Assembly for House of Representatives, 3 in the Senate, nobody defected. So where did these ones get their division from? So,
okay,
see,
all right. I want to bring in Ikenga Chibike now, who's the spokesman for the APC. I don't know if maybe he may have something to say about the word authentic that you used. But Ikenga, good to have you. Please move yourself a little bit backward so we can see you better. So what is your response to Governor Sims Fubara's statement to the effect that Martin Amaewule and other APC members of the State House of Assembly do not exist?
Well, it's very unfortunate that a governor who is sitting by the provisions of the Constitution, whose position was made possible by the Constitution, and he heads an arm of government, the executive, will on his own get up and begin to spew that kind of unconstitutional comments, taking the position of the governor, taking the position of the House of Assembly, taking the position of the judiciary. That is the height of dictatorship, despotism, authoritarianism, fascism, and lack of rule of law. There is a provision in the Constitution for separation of powers, assuming without considering that the Assembly members have lost their seats by virtue of the stories they are telling. It's not the position of the governor to declare their seats vacant. That's not right. However, on the issue of moving to another political party, we have canvassed it enormously on the media that once there is crisis established in any political party where a mandate was sought, and it becomes very difficult for members of the assembly, in this case, Rivers State House Assembly, to conduct their businesses in their political party, they have the right to move. Now, let us agree that they disagree with us that there is no crisis in the PDP. Let the court speak. We have had court judgments for and against the belligerents. So, what is involved in is party politics. And we can all see as Rivers people that the state is suffering. There's lack of governance. And then again, the governor is also going ahead to make utterances that seem to suggest that his own ethnic group is the only group in Rivers State. That's not correct. We have had other people who are from different ethnic groups who have been at the helm of affairs, and they treated everyone together. Today, you know that I have friends in Calabar, I have friends in Ogoni, I have friends in Ahoda, I have friends in Eche, to mention but a few. We're all Rivers people. The governor must be such a strong person that must take all the interests along and ensure that he takes people in the state as one and the people of one destiny. But in this case, the governor is very divisive. And this can show in some of the utterances he had made, particularly talking down on the elders. These are the same elders who sat down and supported his candidature. Today we said there are no elders because he's governor. Respect the Constitution. And then the president of Nigeria had intervened. What are they talking about, constitutionality and non-constitutionality or unconstitutionality? Are you talking about local government election holding as at when due that is not constitutional? Are you talking about need not to stifle the State House Assembly of funds, legitimate funds? Is that not constitutional? To mention but a few of the items from the presidential proclamation for peace. If the governor does have respect for the president, he does have respect for due process. A document he signed, freely signed, assented to. He was part of the meeting where these decisions were reached, only to turn around to say that that's not constitutional.
All right.
It's unfortunate.
Okay.
For a governor of the state, that's
All right.
very unfortunate.
Ikenga Chibike, interesting. I want to take Sobeyeye Eli's take on that, because of course we heard the governor say, in that clip, that that agreement was merely political and not a matter of the constitution. Now, Sobeyeye, you've listened to what what Ikenga has said. What are your thoughts on that? Is the governor bound by that signature, that green pen signature he appended to that agreement?
Kofi, first and foremost, I have sympathy with my friend Ikenga. He's doing a hard job, trying to sell unsellable. I really have sympathy for him. This constitution declares its supremacy in the preamble. It binds on all authorities and persons in Nigeria, including the president. Now, this constitution also describes how this country can be governed. If you look at the document the king is referring to, it is called, what is it called? Was called political what? Did they cite the section of the constitution anywhere? And this shows that reason, whatever was the issue, Rivers people are not interested. This whole charade that you see, you have seen the president is far above this. We have seen these things happen before 2015, when Ruto Amici was governor here, and Ike was minister in Abuja, and the nation was president. I didn't behind the president. They did a lot of harm to the governor here to undermine government in Rivers State. This was happening again now. And people are saying, no, it can't happen again. This young man is from their party. There's no fights. And like I mentioned, I gave clear examples. The PDP had 11 House of Representatives members returned at the end of 2023 elections. The PDP also for Rivers has 3 senators. It's a crisis in the state chapter of the party. Why are these 3? Why are these 3 senators still in the PDP? Why the 11 House of Representatives still in the PDP?
But are the members of the House of Assembly not, maybe the PDP senators and House of Representatives, the likes of Kelechi Nwogu, the likes of Kingsley Chinda, may not want to leave the PDP. They may want to stay, but the APC members may have seen that division and said, we can't stay with you, we're leaving.
Kofi, see, we speak to facts as lawyers. We don't come and speak rhetorics. We stick to facts. Facts are sacred. Comment is free. As a journalist, you know that's it. That's the mantra. The facts speak straight to the issue. And I've said that concerning defections, regarding Section 109, Sub 1, Paragraph G, the Supreme Court has spoken on it already in deciding the case of Feda Abegude against Ondo House of Assembly. That's the locus classicus now. It decided decisives. And that the same decision of the Supreme Court was followed. The instance I mentioned there, in the Ebonyi State and then in the Cross-River State. Rivers State will not be different.
Okay.
I do not see any judge who can vary that order. You can't vary it. So people are only buying time to work for a master that kept them there. He has said openly. Okay. He bought funds for all of them.
Okay. So we'll come back to you. When we come off the break, I'll take Ikenga Chibike's thoughts, opposition on this issue of constitutionality and where the Constitution stands, whether it means in the eyes of the law that these guys do not exist. Some people say what God cannot do does not exist. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Please stay with us. Welcome back. So watching Politics HQ right here on News Central Television. I'm Kofi Bartels. We still have a guest tonight, Ikenga Chibike, spokesperson for the All Progressives Congress, caretaker working committee in Rivers State. We also have Sobeyeye Eli. He's a lawyer and public affairs analyst, both joining us via video link from Rivers State. All right. We need to move on. Ikenga Chibike, I want your response to this issue of constitutionality, which Sobeyeye Eli has raised. When Celestin Omeya was removed as governor of Rivers State, what was said then was that in the eyes of the law, he was never governor. That's what we used to say in Rivers State. So in this case, in the eyes of the law, do you agree with Sobeyeye Eli, with what he's saying, that the current members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who defected to the APC, they don't exist? Ikenga.
Okay, I totally disagree with him.
Sit back a bit, please. Sorry.
I totally disagree with Sobeyeye Eli because there are no 2 cases that are the same. The circumstances and other variables determine every case on each. merit. And this can be justified by the positions that the State House of Assembly had gone to, wherein Justice Omotosho agreed with them that the House of Assembly led by Right Honorable Martins Chike Abewule is the authentic assembly, and that the governor should submit his budget or appropriation bill to the House of Assembly led by Martins Chike. In the other group, the one led by the governor, they also went to Justice Danagogo, who also recognized 3 persons as the authentic assembly. So you can see that even from what Sobeyeye Eli is saying, the judiciary does not say the same thing about the same thing at the same time. So that is what it is. So, but what we are saying clearly is that if they agree that that's the position of the law, why not wait for those who are constitutionally mandated to state it to do so? Why do you take the position of the courts or the judiciary to now begin to interpret constitution? Because the executive is about implementation of laws, and then that assembly is to make the laws, and then the judiciary is to interpret the law. So why now does the governor feel that he has the powers to interpret the laws? That is completely outside his powers. And that these, like we said, these actions of his are the recipe for crisis and violence in our state, and even for entrenching poverty. And his actions have made us lose good governance. We are no longer pursuing the objectives of why a state is being formed and why a government is also put in place. So with what Sobeyeye is saying, I disagree with it completely. And then let me also say, so when my friend did say that the president has no hand in it, how dare you say that? The president oversees the entire country, and Rivers State is part of that. And Rivers State is very important because it's the economic, is a gas and petroleum or the carbon industry nerve center in Nigeria. And you know that over 70 to 80% of our revenue comes from this part. So the president must be involved, must get concerned if disagreements are beginning to slow down development in that state. That's that. And then Sobeyeye did mention authentic APC. I don't understand what he meant by that. I joined APC in 2012. I've been there till today. I don't understand what he meant by authentic and non-authentic APC. I don't understand it. Maybe he has to give us a clearer understanding of what he meant by that. What we are aware is that the governor is not abiding by the rules and regulations required of him and his office. The governor detests rule of law. The governor,
all right,
what the governor is doing now is totally not too different from what Putin is doing.
Oh, wow.
Because
that's Vladimir Putin, president of Russia.
Legislature.
That's Vladimir Putin, president of Russia.
Of Russia, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where he changes the constitution at will and continues to elongate his stay, and then he's the chief legislator, he's the chief judicial officer, and he's the chief executive. Yeah. That is where the governor is headed, if unchecked. But thanks to Providence that Montesquieu and others have put it properly, and it's been enshrined in the Constitution that these are interdependent arms of government, and no one man can take charge of all the three. Otherwise, he will become dictatorial.
Thank you,
and then executive rascality will be the order of the day.
All right, thank you, Ikenga. I saw a chuckle from Sobeyeye when you said that Fubara is becoming like Putin. But Sobeyeye, the Edison, the other faction, the House of Assembly, to which the governor recognized and presented the state budget, even tweeted congratulating Edison Ehe on his ascension to the position of Speaker. Edison has since resigned and is no longer there. And there's no quorum, there's nothing that they can form. So does this mean that there's no House of Assembly in Rivers State?
Kofi, we're a nation of laws. This country called Nigeria is a nation of laws. Our governments, institutions of government are founded on the law, on the Constitution. Everything is wishful thinking. I remember, and I thank God that my friend Ikenga is able to remember. Now, he is fixing up issues here, and I don't want to veer into legal areas because he's going to be lost in the woods. The two issues that are before Lord Justice Omotosho and what came before Justice Danagogo are not the same.
Since yes.
109 sub 2. 109 sub 2 this. Give effect to that vacancy. And wrote to INEC. So if a nation has gone by laws, INEC ought to conduct elections by Rivers State. If these guys are popular, come and face the popular again and stop eating the politics.
Yeah, but Sobeyeye, I was just asked you a question regarding the parallel. Yeah, Sobeyeye Eli. Yeah, I was asking you about the parallel State House of Assembly, the one that's led by Edison Ehi. Following the signing of that agreement in Abuja, you know what happened. So Edison resigned, went and picked up by appointment as the state chief of staff to the governor. So if the governor is saying that Amehule and his APC colleagues they don't exist and their seats are vacant, then does this therefore mean that there is no Rivers State House of Assembly? Because if there is, who is the speaker?
Kofi, I said here, let me repeat again, that we're a nation of laws. We're a nation governed by laws. It just lost power now. Now, if we have followed that law, the speaker at that time that was recognized by a court judgment had given effect to section 109 sub 2 by declaring those and written to INEC, and they ought to conduct elections to fill those vacancies.
So who is the speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly?
They don't have the house now. This last three cannot constitute a quorum. Quorum is defined in section 96 of the Constitution. The three who did not defect cannot constitute a quorum at the moment. So you can't even say they should sit down and elect speaker. They cannot. So, but if these people are respecting the law of this land, all they have done is to submit themselves. That speaker at that time, Edison Ehi, wrote to INEC after he declared that seats vacant, gave effect to that declaration. It wasn't the government that said it. Gave powers to Edison to act as speaker at that time, out of the four of them. And they gave effect to section 109 sub 2, which is these guys have, and wrote the letter to INEC. INEC received the letter. So it is included on INEC. Now, because the president is APC, these guys came to APC who are giving a shelter. Is that what we're doing? So now APC is above the Nigerian Constitution. Is that what we're saying now? They are written to INEC. INEC should obey that and declare elections in Rivers State. So have a proper assembly. And the governor said that, look, he allows them to exist because it's a political thing. Is it always going to be politics? It shouldn't be politics all the time. The Constitution is above politics.
The impeachment, in total, we want to find out if the governor has committed an offense, that warrants impeachment. For those of you watching, please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Politics HQ right here on News Central Television. Of course, we've told you that the governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, has said that the Rivers State House of Assembly members who defected from the PDP to the APC are non-existent. Of course, that House of Assembly led by Martins Amehule as Speaker, he said that they are non-existent. Also, the APC in Rivers State has called on its members in the Martins Amehule-led Rivers State House of Assembly to impeach the governor of Rivers State. Following those comments, we have as guest Ikenga Chibike. He's a spokesperson of the Caretaker Working Committee of the APC in Rivers State. Sobeyeye Eli is a lawyer and public affairs analyst, former local government chairman right there in Rivers State. Gentlemen, thanks for your time once again. I want to go back to Ikenga. Ikenga, your party, and as we saw your principal, Chief Tony Okocha, on the screen earlier, calling on members of the House of Assembly to impeach the governor. What has Governor Fubara done that warrants impeachment?
Okay, thank you, Kofi. I'm sure you have the video clip where the governor, out of excitement or whatever reasons he had, having received some leaders of the job group from Bayelsa who came to him. So I'm sure that whatever he may have discussed with them gave him that audacity to declare an assembly non-existent. That's an impeachable offense. 2, spending Rivers people's money without due appropriation is also an impeachable offense. Usurping the powers of the legislature to screen government nominees is also an impeachable offense. Divisive rhetorics, destabilizing the state, is also an impeachable offense. Now, the insult on leaders of the state is also most appalling. These are things that can call for his impeachment. And APC as a party met after consultations. We directed our House of Assembly members to commence the impeachment because he has failed his oath of office and oath of allegiance, and therefore we need to move our state forward by getting him out of the way and moving on. Governor having abandoned governance, it's enough to impeach him. So these are some of the issues with too many other things. The details the House of Assembly do have, and we have been furnished with that when we held meetings with them, and we told them to go ahead and help Rivers people by getting him off the way and getting another a large-hearted man who can accommodate all the groups, all the ethnic groups, can accommodate all the interests of the state, no matter where they're coming from, as one. And then we develop our state. That's why we did so.
I don't know if we have Sobeyeye Eli there. Okay, we don't have it. But Ikenga, does a political party, have the locus? Okay, Sobeyeye Eli, do we have you back? Okay, while we try to get Mr. Eli back, Ikenga, does a political party have the locus to order its legislators to impeach an elected governor?
We do. What the legislative arm is doing, members of our party, is to pursue the policies and programs of the party. So once the governor is not willing to negotiate, since it's from another party, once he's not willing to come to terms or to come to agreement with the opposition party, we have the right to say that whatever the governor is doing that is not in tandem with the provision of goods and services, provision of good governance, transparency, accountability, we have the right as leaders of the party to tell our members to commence impeachment, to ensure that we bring in a new government that can take care of the people.
But does this not go against, loosely putting it now, the principle of separation of powers, loosely putting it now? In fact, we can't even talk about separation of powers here because in the political, in governance, the political party does not have a power. They're outside the three arms of government. So do they even have the powers to tell elected members of the House of Assembly what to do?
Yes, we do. They are carrying our mandates. Since the elected members, whether at the executive, at the legislature, or wherever they are found, they are carrying the mandates of the party. And therefore, they must abide by the whims and caprices of the party. But in this case, our own whims and caprices as APC in Rivers State is good governance. To ensure that poverty is alleviated, to ensure that infant mortality rate is reduced, and to ensure that the people have a good life. People have water, electricity, and then we provide an enabling environment for people for jobs to be created, for the people to be employed through the private sector and the public sector collaboration.
But does this therefore not mean that the impeachment will be seen and termed political or politically motivated?
Well, elections are political, defections are political, and impeachment is also political.
Yeah, but
impeachment is also a constitutional process.
Yeah, but the grounds for impeachment in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, are quite clear. And it doesn't say
we will follow those processes.
Yes, no, but the House of Assembly, constitutionally speaking, does not take its directives from a political party. When they get elected into House of Assembly, you become a House of Assembly of Rivers State, not of APC or PDP. So if you go by the ground norm, which is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, and then global governance practices, the House of Assembly should sit on its own to decide what to do. Maybe a petition is presented from an interested person to say, I think the governor has committed such acts, which are about issues that can be termed gross misconduct, So are we not putting the cart before the horse here?
No, Kofi, you know that there are a lot of infractions. You know that this same assembly had commenced impeachment process against the governor until the presidential intervention. And that presidential intervention was what stopped it. But the governor had continued because it was believed that the governor ought to have learned his lessons and begin to look at ways he can put the state together, bringing all interests together, negotiating with us House of Assembly. They were elected to represent their people. So the governor cannot counter, he cannot intimidate them. So because he has continued, even on a free fall now, the governor
But this will mean that the APC is using the House of Assembly to achieve political aims. But the House of Assembly is meant to be impartial and is meant to be for strictly governance and to strictly abide by the Constitution, not politics.
No, what is
otherwise
politics?
we'll now see that
are
you now saying that the Speaker will now be making statements and passing bills for political purposes, not for governance?
No. Kofi, let's get it right. Whatever we're discussing here is political. First, elections are guided by politics. Even government is guided by politics.
But the House of Assembly is not a political organization. It's a government, it's an arm of government.
No, listen. We are pursuing, take it from me, we are pursuing good governance. We are pursuing accountability. We are pursuing transparency. And the governor is found wanting in all this. That is the point we have met with our House of Assembly members to pursue our interests.
But the House of Assembly is meant to be independent. But Ikenga, the House of Assembly is meant to be independent. Okay, hold the thought. We want to go for a break. When we return, I'll take your answer to that question, Alex, and hopefully we have Sobeyeye Eli back on the program. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have our guests with us, and I'm glad to say we have Sobeyeye Eli back on the program. Mr. Eli, I asked you earlier about whether the governor has a locus to declare the seats of the defected APC members vacant. But I also want to ask you, does a political party have a locus to order its legislators to, I think we've lost Sobeyeye Eli, we'll try and get back to him as quickly as possible. But while we wait for him to come back, Ikenga Chibike, what are your thoughts on the fact that Niger Delta leader, forefront political leader, Chief Edwin Clark, has written to the Inspector General of the Nigeria Police? Do we have Sobeyeye Eli back? Okay. So what are your thoughts on the fact that Chief Edwin Clark has written to the IGP asking him to intervene in the Rivers political situation to prevent breakdown of law and order?
Okay, well, first and foremost, Chief Edwin Clark is not from Rivers State. He's one of those who have been supporting the governor to revolt against Rivers people. So, because he felt that today he has seen that what he planned that would have happened has not happened. That's why he's beginning to call the Inspector General of Police to come to his aid. Let me tell you, he was one of those who have been sending warnings, telling us that the Ijaws own Rivers State, that Rivers State is an extension of the Ijaw enclave. And we disagree with him on that. Here we have the Ijaws, we have the Ikweres, we have the Ogonis, we have the Epeyes, and we have the Echies. As a group, as a state, we have lived together, we have cooperated together for this number of years from our existence. So for him to come to begin to tell us why Rivers State today have become an Ijaw state, that is what we vehemently oppose. And then we are not interested in whatever he's doing because we know he's biased. He's leaning on primordial sentiments to try to destabilize our state. He's one of those who have caused the crisis in Rivers State. He's one of those who are emboldening the governor to take the path of unconstitutionality. So we know him. He has not come as a leader of Niger Delta who will come to look at all the groups as one. What meeting has he summoned for these people to be reconciled? It's only parochial. It's only taken to the side of his own ethnic group. And he's not from Rivers State, and we don't take him seriously here. All right.
Well, what about the fact that the governor said, some members in his cabinet have been working for the other side, working against him. And that's what he has been going through.
Well, I'm not a member of his cabinet, and I'm not a member of his party. So whatever the internal wranglings in his party, within his party and his government, is his business and that of his own people. I do not have the details, and I'm not in a position to say so. But whatever we want to say are things that we have had that have come to the to the fore. For instance, where the Attorney General retired, Professor Dango did say that the governor stopped him from representing the interest of the state or sending anybody to represent the interest of the state in court and in litigation that are being sponsored by the governor. That's most unfortunate and surprising for us to see. And then when the governor also claimed about the increment in the internally generated revenue, the Commissioner for Finance came up to say that it is not true, that the increment had continued from the immediate past government up to this day, and that it is not that amount that the governor claimed, that it was 15 billion or thereabout, that it was not in that neighborhood, that it was too far below from that neighborhood. So
all right,
these are the issues.
Okay,
so the governor is saying one thing or the other.
Hold the thought. I'm told we have Sobeyeye Eli back. I'll also bring quickly before we are done. Mr. Eli, your answer to the question I asked earlier, I asked if the governor has the locus, the House of Assembly rather, no, the political party has the locus to order the House of Assembly to impeach the governor. All right, Sobeyeye Eli, it seems your network has been affected. We will come to you. Finally, Ikenga, this situation with, or this threat of impeachment, how possible and feasible is it? Because the process for impeachment involves the Chief Justice of the state. Do you think that that's going to be a bottleneck or sort of a roadblock to the success of any impeachment that your party wants to see happen?
Well, I know that the Chief Judge plays a role because that is what the Constitution prescribed. But I can tell you that our people say that play well your part, for there the honor lies. The State House of Assembly has to play well its own part in all processes, even in the impeachment. They must follow due process of law in that. And that is what we think they have to do. We have told them, you have to follow the due process of law in any action you want to take. And that's where we can leave it.
And if the state, the Chief Judge does not play ball, then it means that the impeachment may not be a reality.
Well, I cannot talk about it. We have not got to that level. We can't get to that level. They must adduce their reasons. They must present evidences on why the governor must be impeached before we get to that level. They must put all those things together before they serve the Chief Judge.
Do you think this matter can be resolved to avoid it getting to the point where the governor is impeached, or to avoid it getting to the point where the members of the House of Assembly are removed? Do you think we can have a resolution before things escalate further?
Well, the opportunity had been there all this while, but the governor doesn't want it. He doesn't want peace. The president had intervened. If he cannot respect the position of the president of Nigeria, say, who else do you think he can respect? The president had come in to say, look, withdraw impeachment notice to the governor, and the House of Assembly have done so. And then there are too many other things he asked the governor to do, which he has refused. Conduct of local government elections, as at when he had refused. And then he's taking actions to stifle the position of the State House of Assembly. That's unfair. But if the governor can withdraw from all this and then look more inward to integration, reconciliation, forgiveness, and then oneness, unity, and then for the purposes of good governance, I think that we can make a headway. But if the governor continues on the trajectory he is now, then peace is too far from Rivers State.
Right. I want to thank you, Ikenga Chibike, spokesperson for the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. Even though Sobeyeye Eli said that you're not the authentic one, but I think you countered that. Thank you very much for your time. And of course, also thanks to Sobeyeye Eli, who joined us earlier, a public affairs analyst and lawyer. That's the size of our package tonight on Politics HQ. We'll keep our eyes on Rivers State because definitely there'll be more ahead as far as that crisis is concerned. But we'll return tomorrow with more of the conversations on the biggest stories in Nigerian politics. See you tomorrow. Good night.